Hi everyone, in this video I will show you how to use this Power BI custom visual called Force-Directed Graph. In this world where everything is connected, the communication among entities often convey intrinsic relationships. Force-Directed Graph is a powerful way to visualize such relationships. Here in our sample dataset, we have a source column which represents a group of people and a target column which is also a group of people. We will talk about the rest of the columns later, but this is the minimum we need to draw the connections between source and target entities. Now let's open up Force-Directed Graph. We select source and a target, and immediately we can see the connections between these people. We can add a third column, which is the file count. It's the number of files shared between the two people. So now the thickness of the links change to represent the weight of the relationship. The more files shared between the two people, the thicker the link. Sometimes directions are also important. So whether it's a file shared by Roger with Sony or by Sony with Roger. So we can go to the Power BI Formatting tab and turn on arrows. Now arrows typically look better without those thick links, so we can turn off the thick links and instead use color to represent the weight. You can hover over a link to see its tooltip, which represents the direction and the weight. But also in this case, we're just scaling the weight between 1 to 10 and use a different color to represent each range. So you can turn on the label to see the actual weight as well. Now sometimes you want to describe not just the quantitative relationship, but also qualitative relationship, the type of relationships. Let's say in this case, the fourth column represents the type of relationship. We can color the link by the type instead of the weight. So let's add that column here, and then in formatting we say color by link type. So here we go. The other thing I wanted to show you is that instead of using a circle to represent an entity, you can also specify the type of source and target entities and create images with file names corresponding to that data. So in this case, our fifth and sixth column represent source entity type and target entity type. Let's say we have a source type called shared. If I create an image file called shared.png or shared.jpg and put it on a URL that's accessible by Power BI, then I can show these nodes with images rather than just the circles. So let's add the source type and the target type here. And in the nodes, we already have a bunch of images on a URL here. And now if I just turn on images, you can see now the nodes are represented by images. You can adjust the size of the graph a little bit using this variable called charge. The negative charge is the force to push the nodes away from each other. So if I make it a little bigger, let's say maybe 20, so now the visual looks a little bigger. The last thing I want to show you is that in interactive mode, normally when you hover over a node, then its immediate neighboring links are highlighted. But sometimes you will want to identify a cluster of connected nodes. So if you turn on this option called Highlight All Reachable Links, then if I hover over a node, all the nodes that somehow connected to Bob are now highlighted. So this is useful to identify a cluster of connected nodes. That's it. You can go to Power BI Visual Gallery to download this visual and start using it. Thank you.